Eros and Assumptions, an Eros and Gems alternate POV short story, written by Erin Halbmeier, narrated by Elaine K. Schultz. Copyright 2025. Chapter 1. Helena. Scowling into her wardrobe, Helena snatched another dress off its hanger. She wanted to stuff it into her saddlebag, but she forced herself to fold it neatly so it would take up less space. The nerve of that man! First implying that she needed protection, then pretending to believe that she'd accepted his proposal. She shuddered at the remembered feeling of his lips on her cheek. Thank the heavens she'd seen him coming soon enough to turn her head. As soon as her satchel was packed as well, she pulled on her sturdiest pair of boots. Slinging her traveling cloak around her shoulders, she settled it in place and slid her bow into the sheath on her back. If she thought anyone would truly miss her, perhaps she would stay. But now that she was awake from her 12 years of enchanted sleep, she caused trouble everywhere she went. She didn't fit the image of the princess her parents wanted. Her childhood sweetheart, the crown prince of Dara, had married someone else. Even her friends suffered because of the council's stupid decree that she marry by the end of the year. Helena reached the door, then paused and adjusted her bags so that her cloak hid them better. Otherwise, the guard would never believe that she was simply slipping out for a bit of archery practice. Running away to Dara after waking from her curse had made her family concerned that she would try again, even though it had been nearly a year. She couldn't imagine why. The guard outside the door nodded in greeting as she stepped out into the cool, clear evening.
Good evening, Princess. Not welcoming Prince Axel and Princess Catherine home?
Laughing, she patted the bow on her back.
I already stopped by to have my ribs crushed. Now I'm off to decompress.
He waved her along with a chuckle.
Let me know if you need someone to embarrass. I have a friend whose head could use deflating. Maybe another time, but I'll keep it in mind.
Waving, she trotted off toward the archery field. But as soon as she turned the corner of the castle, she redirected her steps to the stable. A groom saddled one of the horses for her so she could take a relaxing night ride. Another bright smile later, and she was trotting toward the extensive grounds at the back of the castle, until she was clear of the castle's line of sight. Then she slipped from the saddle, lashed her bow to the side of it, and transferred her saddlebags to the horse. Stuffing her chestnut braid beneath a cap, she bent over and tied the ends of her riding skirts about her waist. Between her cloak, the lateness of the hour, and the confusion near the gate from her brother's return, it should look like trousers. Her heart beat faster as she led the horse to join the throng. Her head dipped like a tired groom just wanting to reach his master's stable so he could rest. The risk of discovery had always been part of the adventure when she tried to sneak out as a girl, but that had been at the small castle of Reinigberg, where Papa had stashed her to protect the capital from her curse. If they caught her tonight, Papa would ensure she couldn't escape again. The council would force their will on her. At best, she would marry a man she didn't and could never love. At worst, a man who would always pine for someone else. Failure wasn't an option this time. As Helena moved slowly toward the gate, she flipped through her options. Thanks to her curse and her father's fear of it, her acquaintance was limited. Most of the people she knew lived in Ralnor. None of them were likely to hide her from the king. At one time, she would have run to Dara, but even if Michael and his father King Philip would conceal a royal's presence, she doubted her welcome now. That left her cousin Marielle in Amitié, but Papa's younger brother wouldn't be willing to shelter her either. No, going to stay with Marielle, Aunt Chloe, and Uncle Felix wouldn't work. The line moved, allowing Helena to walk up to the gate with her horse. She held her breath as she slouched past the tired guard. He barely glanced at her, his eyes skating over her horse without any sign of recognition. One side of her mouth pulled up. All too easy. After a few blocks, she turned down a small street and mounted her horse. She couldn't run to her cousin's family, but a bandit had been plaguing their kingdom for the last year. A bandit wouldn't care if she didn't act like a princess. In fact, he would probably appreciate her skill with the bow. It might be an interesting adventure, even if she decided on a better one later. Her lips curved. The bandit it was.